A man sits on an apple in a park, gnawing on a plank from a bench. He's wearing hats on his knees and a knee pad on his head. A group of bicyclists pass him, the bicycles screaming chunks of metal as they race to collide with the intersection. The man coughs or clears his throat whenever a bicycle passes him. He drops the plank and clamps a match between his lips. Then he presses a cigar to the match, shakes the cigar, and tosses it to the ground. He glances around as he mimes pulling smoke from the match. Not a single pair of eyes flutter toward him. I sit on the bench and light a cigarette. Smoke snakes into the atmosphere. The man spins toward me, still seated on the apple, and smiling says, "You again." "Me," I say. "You're disrupting my work." I'm validating it. "Only they can." He points to a column of corporate soldiers marching up the street. Their faces point forward. Their eyes glimmer with the empty light of routine. "But they never look," I say. "I don't know if they can see us anymore. I don't even know what the fuck they do see anymore." "They see what they want to see. We don't fit with their conception of reality, so they choose, and probably not consciously, to overlook us." "So how do we break through to them?" "It's like evolution," he says, "gradual. But we will affect them if we keep at it." Sometimes I believe that, but sometimes I don't. That seems to imply that today is the latter. Maybe. Not maybe. If you're not experiencing it, you wouldn't have said it. Everything has changed, and yet no one realizes it, I say. We need to break through to them, urgently, but they won't listen. They can't if they don't even acknowledge us. How the fuck do we break through to them? "I'm here every day," he says. "Every day I'm out here doing this. And no one ever looks at me, and by that I mean no one pays attention to me. But they see me, whether they acknowledge me or not. And so I keep doing this, every day. And then one day I won't be here. Maybe I'll be sick, maybe I'll be married or rich, or maybe I'll be dead. Then the people who walk by here every day, the people who see me without registering me, will notice something's different. They probably won't know something's different, but they'll feel it. The way you do when you leave the house and forget something, but you can't for the life of you remember what you forgot. So it bugs you. One day, my absence will elicit that same response. These people will continue to come by, to pass through here, and whenever they do, they'll feel this haunting, nagging sensation. And some of them will hopefully start to think. And some of those hopefully will begin to evaluate why they pass through here every single day of their miserable fucking robot lives. But we need brevity, not longevity. It's crucial. Truly, it is impatience, the mother of folly, who praises brevity. Brevity is the soul of wit, wrote Shakespeare in a 5-hour play. As Philip Auslander points out in Presence and Resistance, his study on postmodernist American performance, the traditional interpretation, as reiterated in the popular press, was not that Kaufman was in any way redefining stand-up comedy. Rather, the standard perspective was that he was intentionally courting failure as a comic by refusing to be funny, an interpretation tacitly endorsed by Kaufman himself, who frequently claimed never to have told a joke in his professional life. In fact, Kaufman always went to great lengths to dissociate his performances from the standards of comedy, claiming that none of his acts was ever meant to be funny. "I've never really done what they call straight comedy," he points out in the Midnight Special. And in a heartbreaking scene from a show at the Catskills in New York, extracts of which are published on DVD entitled The Real Andy Kaufman. The self-assigned non-comedian seems on the verge of tears as he is desperately begging for the sympathy of his audience. I've never claimed to be a comedian. I've never claimed to be able to tell a joke. I've never been able to tell a joke. This stance is curiously at odds with the basic imperative of straight stand-up comedy as defined by Kaufman in The Midnight Special. Comedians would go up and do 20 minutes of joke telling. Clearly, the joke is the defining unit of stand-up comedy. As John Lyman states in his book Stand-Up Comedy in Theory or Abjection in America, stand-up is dominated by mini-climaxes, the series of punchlines. With Kaufman, there was no such series of punchlines, or of comic climaxes, and despite the fact that he originally emerged from the performance context of stand-up comedy, he often declared that laughter was not what he was after. According to Bill Zamie's exquisite biography, Lost in the Funhouse, Kaufman explicitly pointed out that none of his acts offered any kind of punchline. In short, here was a funny man who refused to act funny. But was it really that simple? After all, the absence of a punchline does not necessarily imply that an act is not funny, as is illustrated by a joke from Kaufman's Foreign Man character, undoubtedly the most popular of his various stage personae. As part of the Andy Kaufman special, Foreign Man tells a story about two boys and a girl who work very hard to carry a large cannon onto the highest mountain in Spain. When they finally reach the top, though, they realize that they forgot to take the cannonball with them, because each of them thought that one of the others had it. With his exotic accent, Foreign Man presents this vignette as if it actually did fulfill the formal requirements of the joke. Manically gesturing with excitement, he asks the public to hold their laughter and wait for the punchline, while in fact there is no punchline to come. Just like the two boys and the girl who climb a mountain with a cannon but do not have the cannonball with them to load it, Foreign Man works hard to deliver a joke without having a punchline. Thank you very much.